Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Her life must have been amazing if so far, every time she's ever wanted something, people have been ready to give it to her. Like, really, it's only 3 minutes, lady. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. You have to open right away when I arrive. So this just happened 40 minutes ago, and I still don't know what went through that lady's head. I work in a stall in the middle of a hallway in a mall, so we have no gate and no external signs of being closed, but for the fact that all the lights are off, a sign that explicitly states we're closed and our opening hours, and that all the other stores around are obviously closed. We open at 9 on Saturdays. Now, when I got to my stall this morning, it was around 8:35, largely enough time for me to turn on the registers and do everything I needed to do for the stall to open at 9. A lady was sitting on the bench in front of the stall, tapping her foot. I didn't worry about her since a lot of people sit there waiting for the bigger stores around us to open. However, as soon as I entered my stall, she jumped up and came to me. "Excuse me, miss, you're late." I knew I wasn't, but I still looked at my watch. 8:35. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but we don't open until 9. "No, you're late." Still half asleep, I somehow wondered if she was right. I checked my watch again, 8:37. Okay, at least I knew I wasn't crazy. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but as I told you, we open at 9. I would be happy to help you then." "This is unacceptable. You are late, and you won't even admit it." "As you can see, ma'am, it's only 8:37. I showed her my watch, but it did nothing to cool the fury of this righteous customer lady. "But you're late. You have to be there when I arrive. You have to open right away when I arrive." I could only stare at her. It was way too early in the morning to explain basic rules of retail to a lady well in her 40s. She embarked upon the usual rant of, "This is horrible customer service. I'll never come back here," etc., before finally leaving. It's now 9:15, and I'm not sure if she'll come back today. And our second story. Roommate wakes me up to call me a massive effing cow because I ate my food. I've been living with my roommate for a couple months, and it's been going swimmingly. I'm okay sharing my food with my roommate, but I don't touch the food she buys because I have a binge eating disorder, and I honestly prefer to never touch her food. It's just my personal preference to not open that door to allow myself to eat it during a heavy binge. I draw a hard line there. Recently, I bought some avocados and tortilla chips, so during a binge, I ended up eating all my avocados and chips. My roommate wanted to take an avocado to work. She's an essential worker. She hates the food they serve in her restaurant. She didn't ask me or anything, since we have the unspoken agreement she can help herself to my food. She wanted to take some of the chips, too. Today in the morning, she was packing her lunch for work, and then she realizes there were no avocados or chips left. So she woke me up, mad that I had eaten them all. Now she doesn't have anything to take to work, and that I'm a massive effing cow for eating everything. I'm so selfish, etc. I am super sensitive about my weight, because even if I'm at a healthy weight, I bust my butt out exercising to counteract the horrible binges. I'm going to therapy to improve my relationship with food, though I still get bad impulsive binges. I wanted to cry right then and there due to her comment, but I took none of her BS, and I started screaming at her saying that I'm never letting her touch my food again if she's going to act so entitled to the stuff I pay for, that never in the 5 months that I've been living with her have I eaten any of the food she's bought without her offering me at first, that she can eat crap for all I care. She got teary and said that she can't afford similar foods that I can and how much she hates the unhealthy food her work offers, so she wanted to take a nice burrito bowl and that now she has a cheesy bean salad. By the way, she did this with mostly my food. The only thing she bought was the cheese. She also pointed out that I was a spoiled a-hole who doesn't need to go out and expose themselves to the virus and still get paid loads. I'm a junior accountant in a big company. I do get better pay than her. She left, and I got a text later from a mutual friend saying that roommate is struggling with money and that I shouldn't eat all the food, especially when it's so much, and that I should think about my health. My roommate expects an apology from me for eating everything, forcing her to eat the food at her work, which she gets for free, and for yelling at her. I wanted to be vindictive and eat a bowl of her cereal and throw the rest in the trash, but I'm not about that life. My roommate may have told our mutual friend a completely different story from the truth. I decided to ask her what was said, to be able to defend myself, and to be sure my side and the truth was heard. She told me that roommate told her that the food was bought by both of us and that I promised her the avocado and chips for her lunch today, that she just came to calmly ask me if I'd seen them, and that I confessed to her that I had eaten them all to spite her, that I yelled at her to eat crap. I did tell her that, and that I mocked her for being poor. After telling her my side of events, she realized roommate's tell of events had a lot of holes and mine made more sense. I explained to her that she called me names, woke me up to yell at me, and the only food she owned in the burrito bowl she was taking to work was the cheese. She apologized profusely and texted roommate telling her how disgusted she was with her actions. Even though I was originally planning on letting her apologize and allowing her to continue to let her have my stuff, but my other friend knocked some sense into my doormat self and told me to revoke her access to my food. I was planning on having a conversation when she would get back from work with her about clear boundaries that'll be set in place from now on and how her food will go in the mini fridge that came with the apartment, while the fridge I'm borrowing from my abuelita is going to be locked in the pantry with my food. She decided to go spend the night at her boyfriend's place since I'm hostile and put mutual friend against her. Her boyfriend has also texted me and knows that the food is 100% mine, so he's on my side. I decided to talk to the guys in the legal department at work to know what I can do to protect myself in the worst-case scenario I must evict her. Later on, my roommate sent me 30-plus texts asking for forgiveness, saying she doesn't want to be evicted, which, like I said, is my worst-case scenario, and that we should talk. It's a day later, and she's still to return, and now she's reverted to her stance, texted me angrily saying I'm ruining her relationship, poisoned her friendship with mutual friends, and that she feels like I'm trying to forcibly lead her to starvation and homelessness, when in fact yesterday I spent some of my night making a nice budgeting plan so she would stop bleeding money, so she can actually buy decent groceries and even start thinking about saving in the near future. This is the first time something like this has ever happened. And after crying my eyes out multiple times yesterday and part of today, I'm at a complete loss. I thought me and roommate were good friends. Update. Her boyfriend texted me saying he tried talking to her, but she demanded he be on her side, and when he wasn't, she stormed to her parents' house. Her mom is crazy pray for me. Update 2. So her mother just called me yelling how she will sue me for slandering her daughter, so any drop of civility I had towards my roommate are out the window. I'm getting her much more calmer sister to come pick up her stuff because I no longer feel comfortable having her coming inside my home. I'll be returning her rent for this month. I've talked with the legal team and I am allowed to do this after the most recent events. I also talked with the police department in my area. Also, what I was told by the guys of the legal department is that I cannot be sued for an illegal eviction. I have no idea what the F is going on. She's getting her wish of having free food and hell, even getting free accommodation. I'm shocked it's come to this. Hopefully, final update. After considering it, I think I'm acting vindictively and without thinking properly. I'm going to talk to her like an adult and hope to reach a resolution. I've been seeing red since yesterday, and I haven't been acting like I should as I've been out for blood instead of acting like an adult. I will call her tomorrow morning. The situation has honestly caused a lot of hurt, and I'm ready for it to be over without completely turning myself into a monster. Her mother yelling at me was bad, but not worst-case scenario bad, so I should be the bigger person and not go forward with the eviction. I'll find a way to end this roommate situation in a way that'll benefit both and not put her in a worse situation. And our last story. How I towed a stranger's car. I bought and moved into an apartment about 5 months ago. The apartment comes with parking space at the basement level. Every apartment has an allotted parking space. There's extra parking space outside, which you have to rent in case you have an additional vehicle. I don't drive, so I don't own a car. My space has been empty. I still own it. It's included with the apartment. So the situation. My brother decided to move to the city I live in. He was moving in with me for a while till he finds his own place. I honestly want him to stay with me longer. Lockdown was tough and I could use his company. He owns a car and was going to use my space. 3 days prior to his arrival, I noticed there was a car parked in my space. I asked security, but he didn't know who it belonged to, so I posted a photo of the car in the group chat of our apartment complex requesting the owner to remove it. There was no reply, and the next day the car was still there. I asked again, saying that I wanted to park my car there, which would arrive the next day. No reply. 2 hours before my brother arrived, the car was still there. I'd received no messages, so I sent a final message saying that I would have the car towed if it isn't removed in an hour. I got a personal message from the owner claiming they're pregnant and their husband is working, so they won't be able to remove the car in an hour. I said that's not my fault and that I'd given them enough time before it reached this point. I didn't get a reply again, so I assumed they would have moved their car. 2 hours later, when my brother arrived, the car was still there, so I just called the towing company and had it towed. Now I'm being blasted in the group saying that what I did was not very neighborly and that I inconvenienced a pregnant woman and that I should apologize and pay to get their car back. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.